Should LeBron consider wanting out of Los Angeles? Sure he should. I don't think he will because La La is different than Lake Erie, and I certainly understand that. But the flip side to it, y'all, is this. LeBron delivered a championship. And last time I checked, he's playing like an MVP candidate. The one person who should never be booed by the Los Angeles Lakers fan is LeBron James.
How far can Kevin Durant carry this team?
To the first round of the playoffs. I sincerely hope that I don't have to come on these airwaves and apologize to the Philadelphia 76ers, and specifically President of Basketball Operations, Daryl Morey, who I got a lot of love for, by the way. I just didn't like what he did with this trade. But it's looking like I'm going to end up having to do that if things stay the way that they are. Kyrie Irving should have never been prevented or prohibited from playing a game at the Barclays Center this season. The city of New York's rule is bogus, it is ridiculous, and it has no business being in place, and Eric Adams, the mayor, who I like, by the way, needs to step up and handle his business in this regard, in this specific regard. We all in or we're out. The governor of New York needs to do the same. We in or we out. Jeff, I have to say, I don't like the way you sound right now. I mean, Derek Jeter has to be involved in some. What do you mean some capacity? We know where he belongs. He is a Yankee, El Capitan, the champion extraordinaire, the leader. He is Derek Jeter. What is this? You know who you can call Ja Morant right now, ladies and gentlemen? You can call him Kevin Durant. Why would I bring up Kevin Durant?
Yeah, how so?
Like Kevin Durant, Ja Morant was the number 2 overall pick. Mm-hmm. Like Kevin Durant, he's going to be the guy we're talking about. Greg Oden went down, obviously perpetual knee injuries, not just negated his career. And we understand that he was the number 1 overall pick. Kevin Durant was number 2. Well, Zion Williamson, number 1 overall pick. Who's number 2? Ja Morant. What's Zion Williams doing? I mean, we don't know what the hell he's doing. We sincerely hope he ain't eating Twinkies. We hope that he's on that treadmill and those Peloton bikes and keeping his weight down because that's a big brother right there. And we know how great Zion Williamson is when he's on the court. He's something to behold, but he hasn't been on the court. Ja Morant has. And as the number 2 overall pick, who had a number 1 overall pick that was perpetually injured, okay, Ja Morant and Kevin Durant's careers are actually mirroring one another to this point in Ja Morant's career because of where they were drafted, who was drafted before them, in terms of their perpetual injuries and what they are doing on the basketball court. And that's why I said when I think about Ja Morant, I also think about Kevin Durant.
Was it a mistake for LeBron to come to L.A.?
No, I don't think it was a mistake at all. Obviously, for personal reasons, that's definitely a given because of what Tinseltown offers somebody the magnitude of LeBron James. But I would remind everybody, this is a man that arrived in L.A. and delivered a championship, albeit in the bubble. Some people will sit up there and say, you know what, that's not the same. I'll tell you what, might have been harder. Not playing in front of crowds, not being enthused, watching the world be ravaged by COVID-19, having to live in a bubble away from your family and friends and all of this other stuff, not dealing with a level of normalcy that you're accustomed to. One could make the argument that that was a more difficult championship to capture than anything. Kendrick Perkins, could you do me a favor, please? Could you get up? Could you get up and come on over here, Kendrick Perkins? Come on up here, man. Come on over here. Come on up here, man. Just come on up here, man. Come on up here, right? Okay? I want to show you, Kendrick Perkins, what I mean. Come on over here. Now, I want you to stand right here in front of me.
What you got?
I want you to stand right here in front of me. Now, Kendrick Perkins, if you're posting, come on over here and on the audience.
You look like a peanut.
Now watch this. You're posting me up, right?
Right.
Now let me ask you a question. Yo, Jay. What chance in hell do I have of stopping Kendrick Perkins? Can you even see me? Can you even see me?
I cannot.
No.
You have zero chance.
You're miniature.
Zero chance.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? You're Joel Embiid and James Harden. I'm the Knicks. And that's what you're judging me on. I have no problem with Aaron Rodgers wanting to be the highest paid player in football. I have a problem with him not winning the Super Bowl.
We agree.
All right. But I have no problem with him not wanting to be the highest paid player in football. But it's specifically for this reason. Just like owners come to players to consistently restructure their deal, just because you're the highest paid player doesn't mean you're always going to get the highest salary year after year. The Los Angeles Lakers made me want to throw up. And I think that I speak for every basketball fan, especially those people that were in the Staples Center with myself last night, who simply wanted to throw up. But I ain't picking no damn Ja Morant over Steph Curry. I'm not doing that because Steph Curry is the greatest shooter I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just not doing it. And I'm saying, of course, he should not be paid in the same breath as a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, or anybody like that, Joe Burrow and people like that. I got that. But the brother can play. He's not a scrub. And when we heard this stuff about him, Dougie, we heard about it once he was asking for his money. Doesn't that strike you as a bit suspicious? Doesn't that get those spark ears of yours percolating and saying, wait a minute, there's something awry here, there's something missing, right when it's time for him to say, okay, I want to get paid. Now we hearing about character issues.
You're
Don't you
an
find that
athlete.
suspicious? They're not missing the play-in. They'll get in the play-in tournament, no doubt about it. But they look like trash right now. The Lakers look horrible. Frank Vogel's probably going to lose his job. It's not his fault. We know he can coach. The problem is when you watch the Lakers, even though they were far more competitive last night than they were against the New Orleans Pelicans the other night, you just see too many, just too many nuggets of proof of how they've tuned Frank Vogel out. Here's what I love about just most of these fighters, if not all of them. They never cheat us. They bring what they got. Some of them fall. And we understand that Masvidal fell to Usman, and I'm a fan of Masvidal, but I love me some Usman as well. The bottom line is this. It's going to be fireworks at UFC 272. These brothers ain't playing. There's clear disdain for one another. They got some history, and no matter what sportsmanship, I believe you'll end up seeing when the fight is over, somebody going to sleep. This ain't going 5 rounds.
And when it comes to late game situations, pick and rolls, clearing out the side, going 2-man game, I don't know who in the hell could stop those two. They had trouble stopping just Embiid. Back 2 years ago, they had trouble stopping just James Harden. Now you have a motivated Embiid, a motivated James Harden, and you telling me that somebody in the league, a team in the league, to actually stop those two? I don't see it.
But when you look at Ja Morant, I mentioned Kevin Durant earlier because they both were number 2 picks and the number 1 pick were injury prone. But when you look at Ja Morant and his game, I mean, that's just a slightly taller version of Allen Iverson. That's who Allen Iverson was. If I were the Los Angeles Lakers, I would look to move both AD and Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, because of the last year of his contract and what I could get in return for the $47 million he's scheduled to earn once he opts in. And then you look at Anthony Davis. I love Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is a big-time talent when healthy, but because of his history of durability issues, I would say I'd explore seeing what I could get for his greatness. Bill Russell never averaged more than 18.5 points per game in his career, but he was an elite rebounder and defender. My argument to you is, if you give me all the offense in the world, why am I worried about defense? I'm not worried about defense. So guess what? I might not do that. If you're going to ask the question that way, what do I need? That's why I'm asking you.
1 game?
Hey, what did I just say? What do I need?
I can't hear you, guys. They took my headset off. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
You can hear me. You can hear me loud and clear.
It dropped. I am tired of this nonsense. You can't put him ahead of Bird. You can't put him ahead of Magic. You can't put him ahead of the 3 centers. You can't put him ahead of Jordan. You cannot put him ahead of LeBron. You can't put him ahead of Tim Duncan under any circumstances. You can't put him ahead of Tim Duncan, and you can't put him ahead of Kobe. That's 8, 9 guys right there.
And where I have a problem with him right now is that, considering the moves that Green Bay is making and how it seems to coincide with the kind of things that Aaron Rodgers would want in order to stay in Green Bay. It's really bothersome to me that you're doing the 43-minute interviews, you're sitting around pondering, wondering what you want to do before you make a decision. I think those things are reserved for champions, meaning recent champions. Like, he is a champion, but that was 12 years ago. Not only have you not won a championship since, you haven't been to the Super Bowl since. I'm getting very nervous. I'm getting very nervous.
The pause has started.
But it's not because of the losses. I'm getting nervous because where the hell is Draymond Green? That's what I'm getting nervous about.
Okay.
But I want to do a favor for LeBron James and his peeps here right now. LeBron James ain't thinking about leaving the Los Angeles Lakers to go to Cleveland or anywhere else. And in fairness to LeBron James, his history has been his team being competitive and at least in championship contention before he departed. That was the case when he departed Cleveland. It was the case when he departed Miami. They lost in the finals, okay? And the reason why I say it's KD's return, because, you know, he's the man. When healthy, I believe that Kevin Durant is the best player on the planet. That's how I feel about him. And so because of that, I don't think it's a coincidence that the Nets went on an 11-game losing streak the second that he went down. I don't think it's a coincidence that they were the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference when he was healthy, in spite of Kyrie Irving's sporadic availability because he wasn't there at home games and James Harden wanting out. They were still the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference when Kevin Durant was healthy. He goes down. Now they're trying to make sure they can at least make it to the play-in game, okay? That's how lethal Kevin Durant is. What I mean when I say the season's over is that the Lakers ain't playing past April. They'll be home in the first round. Whether it's the play-in game before the first round or the first round, they're going home. They will not be a part of a championship competition that's taking place. They're not a part of the equation. They're just not that relevant. And it hurts me to say that because we all know where I want to be in L.A. I mean, come June, I want to be in L.A. and Miami. That's my dream scenario. I ain't apologizing for it to a damn soul. That's how I feel. Ain't going to happen. Not on the West Side. Ain't going to happen. And it's not going to happen because we have an MVP like LeBron James who's playing like an MVP, but with all due respect, not necessarily leading like one, because of the roster that he's somewhat responsible to have accumulated, have assembled. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.